we're live. Well, not live, but we're recording.
Nice.
How's it going, Par?
It's going good. It's going good. We're finally back. How many weeks of a hiatus did we do for 50/50?
How many weeks? I think like 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
Yeah, the
Oh,
best
that's not
3 weeks of my life.
Yeah. That's
No,
not
just
awful.
slept in on Fridays, pretty much. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah. I mean, December's was busy.
Yeah.
For sure. That's why I was surprised. I feel like maybe it was more, but I think we squeezed out like a call sometime in December, but then got difficult. Also,
Yeah, things
as far
happen.
as the audio thing, you were right. I noticed that it cut out and then I just made a sound and it came back. So
Yeah, gotcha. Par's having the audio problems that I usually have, so it's kind of nice actually. While I don't wish the worst on Par, it's kind of nice seeing other people suffer through what I've been through. Like I
yeah,
feel like vindicated in a sense.
yeah,
I'm like,
because
yes, I know about this one. You
like
got your first pubes? Me too.
half the time when you did this, I just was like, oh, Sai's hallucinating again.
Yeah.
Like what
But then
the
there's
fuck is this
sometimes when
guy
you
on?
like speak and then I like don't say anything for a second, and that's because it's like, wait, is he done? It's like, hello,
Yeah,
Par, and
no,
then I got the coughing meta down.
I know 100% now because this is exact
Yeah.
because like I'm not always looking at the screen or the camera or like you. Like sometimes my eyes just wander, and then like I'm just like, wait, what were we talking about? And
Yeah,
then
you're in
like
a
it cuts
Discord
out.
Discord call with nobody but yourself. You don't even
Yeah,
notice.
yeah. And that's the weird part because it's like if when you were having it alone, and if it were like a Discord issue, which now it 100% is a Discord issue, then it's like
Yeah.
why is this happening like one person at a time? Why isn't this like a two-way street kind of issue? Why is it that now you don't have it and I have it? It's
Hey,
like
I'm cool. I'm cool with it. I'm not gonna complain. Hey, I've
yeah.
suffered enough.
Yeah, I just need to
Oh
know like
man,
because at the end of the day, right? Like you had it for like maybe a few
months,
months at the end of
months.
last year, right? So
Yeah.
I like to think that like oh they were coding, they kind of fixed it. And then like whatever their fix did, all it did was just shift it to the other like 50% of users that never had that problem.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
The best patch. The best patch.
Yeah, they patched it and then they're like, "Yep, we did it, guys. Time to get paid. End of the year
Now
bonus,
everybody's
boys."
suffering.
And then they come back from like Christmas vacation and then they're like, "Oh, well, you know what? Your fix actually shifted it to the rest of the user base."
Hey, you call it a problem. I call it equality.
Yeah, everybody got to share in the problems. If only one group of people experience problems, then that's
Who
just
cares?
discrimination.
Oh,
Yeah.
that too. That too. Welcome to the Technical Difficulties Podcast, or in better words, the 50/50 podcast, where the other 50% got hit.
Yeah.
Today,
That's really
our
good.
main topics. Thank you. That was off the top of my head. Today, the main topic is going to be anime and manga, because
Yep.
we usually avoid talking about it since that's our general space outside of the podcast. But today, we said we're gonna tackle that bitch. We're
Yep.
not talking about One Piece though, so if you want that, go somewhere else, you hooligan. We're talking about everything that isn't One Piece,
Well,
like
we can.
Boruto,
Oh,
Par's favorite.
I was gonna say we can not talk about One Piece and we can talk about the One Piece.
Oh my god, yeah, the remake of One Piece. Yeah, I mean that's a good one. Are
Yeah.
you excited for it? I don't think I've asked you. Oh yeah, I
Um,
have.
I forget when, and oh yeah, we did talk
Yeah,
about it a little bit.
the day it got announced, I remember we like called each other at like 2 a.m. like lost lovers. Not called,
Yeah.
but like we messaged. Yeah,
We squeezed in our last discussion of the year chapter
yeah,
wise that day, and people are crazy. People came from that stream onto my I had like a stream later on, and they were bringing up stuff from that thing. They didn't comment it on that video, and then they came on things like, "I can't believe you, blah blah blah." This take on like Kizaru stuff, right? And I was like, well, just why not just comment this on that video? Why? And then I think it's 3 people total. They like wildly mischaracterized what we talked about, and I was like, even if I did say that, like we talked about how we called at like 5 a.m. that day, like it was crazy.
yeah.
Um,
Don't let the opinions of 3 guys get to you, Par.
yeah. It was just funny because I was just like, damn, like did that call really hurt some people for some reason. I'm like,
What take was it? I'm sorry. I know he said no One Piece, but what
yeah.
take was it again? Something about Kizaru?
They I think two people
Kizaru being a good
specifically,
guy?
um they said that I said that it was stupid for people to think that it it wasn't Kizaru. Like that was their
Oh
quote.
yeah, no, yeah. Wait. Let's double down. let's let's double down on that.
And I was just like, one, I was like first of all, I literally brought up Smoker as an option in that call, and I was like, so then if that is your quote, then I am calling myself stupid because I was thinking of plenty of people other than Kizaru too. So like I never called anyone stupid. That doesn't make sense because I spent 2 hours on my stream talking about other options. But then the second part was like, yeah, bro, Kizaru is the the best option. Like, I don't know what to tell you. But I
Yeah,
didn't think
it's
anybody was
rough.
stupid. Now maybe, like,
Yeah, it's like I said. If you don't like the option, okay. So to give people who don't know One Piece, I'm assuming like 90% of you guys know what One Piece is, and you're caught up because that's our main
yeah,
channels, and we probably brought you here. We roped you along, but essentially there is an instance where our main character Luffy got food mysteriously delivered to him, and everybody's trying to guess who did it. A lot of people think it's Kizaru because he is faster than the speed of light, and he has stocks in him getting food.
yes,
And our take was it's probably Kizaru, right? Like if it smells like shit, it's probably shit. It's Kizaru.
yeah,
It's just that cut and dry.
hmm,
And my take is that if you don't like that answer, that's fine, right? Because that's an
yeah,
opinion. If you don't like him, cool. But to think that it isn't him when he's in the room and can benefit from it and has shown that he wants to do it, it's like, like I
yeah,
guess.
yeah,
You know what they say though, right? Like all of the lobotomized kids love anime and manga. I think this is just them like stepping in. They're having a little field day saying, "Oh yeah, it's not him. You're dumb for thinking it's him." It's just the lobotomized kids coming out. It's totally
yeah,
fine.
yeah. Though
Like we got to give them some time to shine.
the only reason I responded was because it was end of the year and I wanted to
Yeah.
go through comments like for the last few videos because it's like I wanted to clean up, not clean up, but like, if people came into like videos or streams or whatever, and it was at the end of the year, that's Christmas, that's New Year's time. I really wanted to like respond
You
to,
wanted to respond and be nice. You're like, oh yes.
yeah. So
Santa
like
Par's coming in.
it's like I responded to like 99 comments, and then like that one was just like the one that like I was like, yo, and we were driving to Philly, so it was a long drive. So
Yeah.
I remember I told my wife, I was like, is this me? And she's just like, yeah, but you're gonna send it anyways. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. Like it was a funny thing, but at the end of the day, um it's just funny how people, because for me I'm also like, damn dude, like this wasn't even the same video. Like if it was on the video you posted, I feel like I would have a little bit of a different energy. But the dude came into like
He followed you to the ends of the abyss to tell you how wrong you are.
yeah, it was a
It's so funny.
rewind. It was my rewind stream. So like in the thing I watched like a video of like of
That's so
like
hilarious.
random stuff from 20, like nothing. I don't even think like the recent we got. So okay, so the plan was to reread the chapters of that year, not like read it but like breeze through it, and I only got through like 2 chapters. And so we only got to like 1071 to 1073, and I was like, and that was like 4 hours and 5 hours of streaming, and I was like, yeah guys, sorry, we took a lot of detours.
You
I'm
got
gonna,
one guide by that comment.
yeah,
That's so funny.
we weren't even close. I don't even think we brought up Kizaru in that light, and then it was just crazy. It was just so funny. Um but
That is hilarious.
as far as like One Piece, and we did talk about it. I just kind of like,
The One Piece remake. Oh no, my
uh,
cat's going behind my computer.
oh
All
no.
right, yeah, she's gone. Yeah,
As
I
far
can't
as
get her
like
anymore.
as that goes, it for me, I'm just like, there's so many timelines we could be in, and the fact that Oh, you know what? I think we did talk about this like beforehand, where I don't know if you remember this. I clipped it out when the announcement happened, but like the week before, we were talking about like animation studios picking up One Piece once it's done, and I said like,
Yeah.
oh, like imagine Wit Studio. It takes One Piece after it's done, and they're like one of the first people, and then ended up being Wit Studio to get like it announced this project. Um, and I just kind of sat there and I was like, that was like a random fan fiction moment. I just made shit up. I was just like, what if One
Yeah.
Piece, blah blah,
What if
and
One
then
Piece gets remade?
yeah, by this studio, that would be sick, wouldn't it? And then it was just like, yeah, it's very sick part, and I was like,
Dude,
it's crazy because that's
I
not the only
agreed
thing.
with you that the remake would happen. I didn't
Yeah.
agree with one of your takes though, which was the Bob's Burgers one, and I still don't agree with it. Where like it was
Mhm.
like season one with season two, a different studio, season three. But
Yeah.
dude, the remake though, man, the fact that we said that, and or you said that, and I think what was it, like a week or two later it happened.
Oh, it was a week later.
A
Yeah.
week later, that's so
Yeah.
nuts.
Because we went on
Can
break.
you talk about my YouTube problems going away? Can you please, please, Par? Yeah, I'm
Wait,
gonna rant for a second, dude.
yeah. Go for it. I was like, wait. I mean, we could do that. Yeah. What do you mean?
God damn, dude.
That was the hard. That was not. That was like whiplash segue. That was crazy.
Yeah, so I'm just so peeved. I've been so upset about this recently.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna let the bag loose. I'm gonna treat this like a therapist or some shit. But
Yeah. Hit us.
essentially, if you guys don't know, I've had multiple YouTube channels at this point. I think I've had like three. The
Not
first one was
counting.
great.
Not counting Fairy Tale.
Yeah, not counting Fairy Tale or like the side projects, but for One Piece or anime and manga, I've had three accounts, and they've all been subject to the same problem, which is invalid traffic and like flags and shit like that. And when that happens to your account, people are like, "Oh, is it like copyright strikes?" No, it's way worse than copyright strikes in my opinion, because you know what? At least for a copyright strike, like how to fix it. You're like, oh, I guess I'll just do this differently. I guess I'll just contact this person. Copyright strikes are beautiful. They're like,
Yeah.
hey, like 3 months and you're fine, dude. Like you can still monetize, no big deal, whatever. Whereas when you're hit with invalid traffic, you can't do shit against it. You don't know what videos are hit until it's a month later. Like payday's gonna hit, right? Like it's payday time. You're about to get the YouTube check or whatever, and then they're like, "Hey, by the way, you get nothing. Your videos are all hit." And it's an avalanche effect where at first, YouTube has like a little like leeway system where they're like, "Oh, like some of your videos, it's hard for no videos on YouTube that not have invalid traffic that just exist normally on the internet." But once you
And
get hit once, it's easier to get hit twice, a third time, fourth time. It's like a snowball effect in League of Legends, right? You're feeding the top laner is what's happening here.
yeah, and like for
Oh,
the people who don't know how like YouTube payment works, like obviously YouTube social media, it's not like traditional salary type of thing,
yeah.
but like as far as stability goes, and I'm sure people have seen like clips of like Mr. Beast sharing his like analytics or other creators. What YouTube does and gives you when you get the video posted is they'll tell you an estimated amount of revenue you'll make. Keyword is estimated, and the reason why it's estimated is because based on your views, based off your niche, based off your category, based off of the length, sometimes based off of like what they see as like an average for your type of thing, they'll give you a number. Now that number can go up or it can go down, and I've heard it go both ways. For me, it's like a short, for example, has gone up insanely comparatively to another one right before the last day when you get paid, and it's because they like essentially render in the more exact information, but
Yeah.
they also say the estimated thing because they can take away, and a lot of times the way the take away thing comes from is they don't pay viewership evenly based off of geographical location, which is not something that you can really like track or know. But like, that's, for example, Mr. Beast, right? Like the amount of money he makes in the US versus in like a South American country, maybe, like Argentina, it's a different pay structure. If he gets like 100% of his viewership in Argentina for whatever reason one month, that's completely different than a United States viewership. And so that's why they do the estimated thing. It makes sense, but it also the like the limit factors to how much leeway they have, because it could literally go from like thousands to zero, literally like that. And it's very rare for it to 2x or 3x from that. The only time I've ever seen that really is with shorts. But so like the when Sai described to me what happened, I was like, that's a nightmare. That's
Yeah. So to
crazy.
give you guys an example, like let's say I was gonna get paid $1,000. So like, hey, Sai, in December you're gonna get $1,000. It's gonna hit your bank account. It's gonna be great. And it's like, oh wow, beautiful. Ooh. Like I have Christmas money. Wow, great.
Yeah.
And then come payday, they're like, by the way, that $1,000, no joke, has now turned into $15. Here you go, buddy. I'll hit it to you Express VPN tomorrow. Like it's horrible. So yeah,
Yeah.
I've been fucked like that for like the past 2 months. I've seen little to pretty much no revenue minus like streams and sponsors. So YouTube's been a pain. So that is why I left my first YouTube account. Now I'm on my second. Then I left the second. I'm on my third.
And you didn't
And
describe all of this the first time it happened, right? You just
no,
vaguely.
now I'm more open.
Yeah.
I'm so fucking annoyed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not one to blame, but it is that One Piece crowd.
Yeah.
I feel like if I covered any other series than One Piece, I feel like this would not be a problem.
Hmm.
But because of the position I'm in and because of the space I put myself in, I'm kind of like set up for failure. So I don't know. I need to think of doing something differently. Par had a great idea for what I should do with my YouTube channel. Maybe it's
Yeah.
not a great idea in the long run, right? Like a lot of people aren't gonna like it,
Yeah.
but it's better than what I've been doing. So recently, or I guess in the past couple of months, I've just been uploading a video talking about One Piece, and then that gets hit because the main reason this happens is because like third-party websites and shady characters like use my video, they promote it online, and that's not cool with YouTube.
Yeah.
That's essentially how it goes, right? So Par's idea is to, instead of making a video, or actually, he said to make the video, but instead of just uploading it to YouTube, that I should live stream. I'll talk before, I'll talk after, and then in the middle of the live stream, I throw the video in. And I'm like, wait, that's a beautiful idea. Because guess what? Websites don't want to sponsor a 2-hour video because our calls, when me and Par talk about One Piece, let me tell you, they do not give a shit about that. Oh my God. I remember back on the old channel, the only revenue I ever made on YouTube was our collabs.
Hmm.
I was like, oh, everything got hit, but let me tell you, me and Par, like, this is great. So
Yeah.
yeah, maybe that's what I'm gonna start doing. But things got to change. There's nothing worse than going to my wife once a month saying, "Hey, babe, I made no money." You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like there's nothing worse than that, to be honest.
Like, and
Like
like
it's just not
again,
fun.
like there's it's hard to make equivalent towards like being a YouTuber or a content creator and like a 9 to 5 or a traditional work thing. But like the only time that really happens that in like December time you find out like you're not getting paid, your company's bankrupt, your company doesn't exist anymore. Like
I
I've
feel like a
heard that
game dev.
story.
I just
Yeah.
got fired.
Well, oh yeah, in the gaming world, there's a lot layoff stories are um way too bountiful. But like as far as like I've heard stories like that, and every time it's like it's because the company just doesn't exist anymore, and it's like at that point, like there's a lot to be mad at, right? You're not getting be paid, but also like your entire existence got uprooted. Whereas for you, it's like I think there's like there's multiple layers of frustration, some that you can't even express, to be fair. But like, one, it's like this is a YouTube thing. Two, you don't have any peers that, like, fortunately no peers, but unfortunately, like the when in 2023, 2024, modern era, most times when you have a problem, you Google it. And you know what sucks? When you Google your problem, you find out you're the only fucking person in the world to be dealing with it. And like nobody,
Yeah.
like you can't talk to anybody. And like being the first to something like that is insane. And it's not like, in the grand scheme of things, we're not big YouTubers. Like we can't be like, like Ludwig or something coming on and be like, "Hey, YouTube, can you fix this thing?" And they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Ludwig."
If I had like hundreds of thousands of subs, I'd be like, whoa, like no big deal. I just gotta take my
Yeah. Like, and that's the thing. Like, technically, I have like a YouTube person, but I have not gotten in reach to them. But if I had an issue with you, who, like the issue that you had, oh my god, like there'd be people I'd be contacting for sure, for sure.
I don't
Because
have that.
the thing that
I'm so
you
fucked.
experienced is what I experienced with TikTok. But like, I'm gonna say it flat out. Like, it makes way more sense with TikTok, and I know other people have a similar issue, if not
Yeah.
grander issue. And there's right now a bunch of the big TikTokers I'm seeing like going on to YouTube, going on to Twitch, and I'm like, I've give little insight. I've always been the biggest supporter of TikTok. Like, as far as that's where I started. I always tell people to go on. I've gotten multiple large creators to hop on TikTok, whatever. But in the last year, I got beat down. And the thing is, the amount of monetization I've missed from TikTok is like thousands and thousands of dollars. It's an insane amount. And I missed it because they have this bug that I'm the only person that experiences, where they say that the US is an invalid region to monetize. And like, I've literally shown it to top creators. I met up with them, and they're like, I don't have no idea. Like, they talk to their people, no idea. I've talked to employees, everything. And for me, it's like, TikTok is not YouTube. I just gave up, and to the point I don't even have TikTok on my new phone, and that might be
You're
crazy.
so annoyed by TikTok. You're like, fuck this.
Yeah, like
I
I
hate this app.
literally, I didn't download new apps on my phone, but like TikTok, my wife still sends me TikToks. And for viewers of this podcast, you guys know, I used to watch a lot of TikToks. Hell, me and Sai had we DM each other
Episodes were
videos.
dedicated to TikTok. God
Yeah,
damn it.
and now every time my wife sends me a TikTok, I'm like, don't you dare stop! How dare you? This is insulting. And like, that's TikTok. Fuck TikTok. But YouTube doing that to you is wild. And this isn't the first time, and now it's the second time. And like, the what you're describing, it's like, I pray that it ends. And I'm just so grateful. The one thing I'm grateful is just like seeing the community response, like because I always see people who like, um even for our calls, I you probably remember this, like people would comment saying like, "Oh, these videos must make Sai and Para lots of money. That's why they spend hours on these calls." I'm like,
Oh yeah. Someone's like, oh, I bet Cyan Par make buku bucks on YouTube. That's
yeah,
that's always
yeah,
so it's always so wholesome when I see that though, because it's like, oh man, like I wish.
yeah, like that is exactly why, like, if we both have insomnia and we stayed up like one day a week. Like, as if that's the case, we could stay up every day of the week. But like, we're
Yeah, do you think I saw that comment because so me and Par do these like 3 hour, 2 hour long discussions on One Piece every week when the chapter's out. And I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna like spend hours on end putting images with every single thing we talk about because that's
yeah,
just
yeah.
too much work for like no real reward. And then somebody was like, "Oh, I can't believe Cyan Par makes so much money off of this, and they can't be bothered to put images on." And it's like, brother, if I made buku bucks off this, why the fuck am I not talking to Par every day? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if they ever thought about that. Like, if I made as much money off of YouTube as some people believe, dude, I'd be living in New York with you, you know, like shit, we'd have a little office space, you know, I'd have a TV like Joe Rogan, like, hey guys, look at what we're talking about back here. That's the image we're talking about. Hey, Par, pull it up. Hey, Joseph, come on, throw it up, chapter 272. Like,
Yo.
I think people like for some reason, when they think you have like even over 1,000 subs, they're like, "Oh, this guy's a millionaire." Like this guy's big bucks over here. Like, no. What are you talking about? Like, we're just
Yeah.
two guys in our bedroom. Par has a sponsored gaming chair and a Funko Pop that's being glared off to oblivion in the background. I have a cat tower and a Gengar found on Amazon in the back. Who do these guys think we are?
Oh,
I
my
wish
God.
I wish I was at that level, man. You know, I'm glad some people see it that way.
Yeah.
You know, they look at me and you and they see like these guys that have like fucking Teslas or something. You know, we're like Fortune 500. We're at the front of magazines. But in reality, you know, it's sad to say, sorry to ruin Christmas for you, but we're not rich.
Yeah,
we
and-
don't have time like that. I'm so sorry.
And to add like
I love that
context,
shit.
it's like
It's so good.
Sai just admitted that like for some of the months those discussions were the only revenue, and he still did it. Like we cut down on how long we talk sometimes because we're like, well, one, we have other recordings, like I have a son, like sometimes the schedule doesn't fit. If we do it 3 hours a day is a long time, but it's not like we're counting the minutes. Sometimes we're just like, oh shit, bro, we have to record 50-50 and we skip the 50-50 and
There's
like
a reason why we skip weeks too. Like,
yeah, and it's like
that's hilarious.
and if it the other part of it, it blows my mind because it's like if it was that, like, why don't other creators do this? You know what I mean? Like, why you would imagine that like other creators would hop on with
we
other
found the formula.
yeah,
We found the
I
Mr.
don't
Beast
do-
money making formula.
like I used to
Oh,
have like
man.
discussion videos on the channel and I stopped them because they were destroying my channel. And it's the same thing for you where it's like you were having them on your main channel. And I remember like a month in, 2 months in, 3 months in, I forget when, very early on, I was like, don't these hurt your channel? But then like we discussed it, it's like as far as theories go, because I post like, you know, like more scripted content, whatever. It's like
Yeah.
there's like a longer lifespan but less pull towards my videos because, you know, if I post a video that's not current to the chapter or not relevant to thing, people aren't searching for it, whereas like people are searching for the current chapter. And that's what you mainly post about, is like if the new chapter is coming out and everyone's searching 1104, you're in the tagline, so more people go to you, but that's a less shelf life, right? And
Yeah.
so it hurt you less to post it, but it still hurts like to have a
Yeah.
like a 3-hour video that people maybe have like a 20% watch time
5%,
versus
10% watch time. Yeah.
yeah, and then versus most of your videos are 20-30 minutes and like 90% watch time. That kills you in the algorithm. If I literally could not do that, because then YouTube would destroy my 20 or 30-minute videos. And that like it just boggles my mind that like there's so like Mr. Beast is out here telling everybody about YouTube, and it's like common knowledge to this point of how like pay structure works, how these things are, and to get like accused like that, and then especially for you, for the truth to be so far that you're like
The fact that I'm making no money, it's
Yeah.
hilarious.
yeah, and then it's even funnier because at least this one I
I guess
kind of
that is
understood.
pretty funny when you think about it, huh? Just like
Yeah,
the
because-
guys like Sai's making all this money, and then in reality, I'm like not seeing anything. I'm like, yeah, that's funny. Yeah. It's good,
Yeah, because-
good joke, man. Good joke. I love
Like
that.
if they like Brago, for example, right? Like I could see you saying, not you, but like people saying it to like Brago, a fellow creator in the space. But like it's way different. He doesn't care lengthwise what he posts, because he posts goddamn nearly every single day because he's a menace. But he's also a larger creator who can have that kind of like traffic to substantialize posts daily or every other day. Whereas for us, it's like we have to have like a structure. We can't just like switch up randomly. That does hurt us regardless. But and then as far as like creators go, knowing your back, but like the behind the scenes and hearing those accusations, I'm like, bro, like it's crazy for
You could have picked a better target, man. Come on.
Yeah, like even if
pick a better target. Please don't pick me.
and it's like people say that to me too, like, oh, you're squeezing out the things for like my videos because my videos are super long. I'm like, bro, I posted one video in 5 months, and like I don't know what you think I'm squeezing or what you think I'm doing here, but it's like Like I
It's your comeback video. You
yeah.
post a video like once every like couple of months. You're like, Par's squeezing this one out, huh? It's like, brother, who do you think this guy is?
Yeah, like I
Oh,
like
that's
in every
hilarious.
like I could see the logic of like he's making the long videos to squeeze out money. It's like, well, that could make sense if I was like posting at least once a month, but like all my other content is talking about why I'm on this 5 month break and it's not something I want to do. And like and that's kind of that when because last time you did this with the first channel, you told me after the fact, but it was kind of like before you went public with it, so I was like knowledgeable of it. This time around you told me like very early on, but I have been away for a long time and I came
Yeah.
back essentially at the end of December, January, and I see your public post and I was like, yo, I thought I had it bad because for me, I'm not posting and I'm not making money and it sucks. But it's like, what is, I can't complain because I didn't post. Your ass posted every goddamn day and like we're putting in the work. You were throwing it back. You even messaged me and telling me like, bro, like if you can squeeze out the time, I know your life is fucking hell right now, you need to do it. But I remember we had that and I was like, yeah, and I let you in on the stuff. And to know that you said that, and then at the end of the month you're like, bro, I made nothing. I'm like,
I made no money. Yeah,
that broke me. I don't know, like, cause I came back and I saw the
it
your
breaks
things
me.
and I was like, my jaw dropped. Like I was in the like stressed mayhem, like gray hairs, falling out hairs, and then I think like I aged like 3 days, like because I saw
Wait,
your
when you heard
post.
my story,
Yeah, I was like,
nah, it's
I think I would eat somebody. Like I don't
yeah.
know what I would do.
I told my wife, I was like, I was like, babe, I was like, if I could like murder somebody and like
I was like,
fix these problems, I would like have to contemplate it for a little bit. I'm like, I'd have to like weigh the human life. It's like, like what should I do? No, I'm just kidding. But like it's one of those things where it's like you never realize how bad a problem is until you have to like tell a significant other about it.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
it's like, like me going through this, it's like, I'll get by. But having to break the news to like your significant other, it's like, ooh, sorry, babe.
yeah. No,
Nothing.
I'm so glad you
Uh,
said that because that is something that I like, especially this last week. I was thinking like it's not like obviously has nothing to do with my wife stuff, but it's more so like I was thinking like if I like all a bunch of like our colleagues or peers, right? They're single, right? Like they could go through
yeah.
these problems like what I was going through and it wouldn't be that problematic because they could just take a break and they could do stuff like married, I have a kid, and it's like a way different ballpark. And for me, it's like to have the issues that are happening. It's like 5 months is a long time, and luckily, I have other things that were keeping afloat. Just like you had like you're working outside of YouTube as well. It's like there's several various things that are in play, but at the end of the day, it's like it's not a fun conversation where it's like, man, like I could be homeless, but there's no way in hell that like I'm accepting that like that I'd be the reason why we're all homeless. That's a crazy thing. And
Yeah.
for you, it's like it's like so out of your control that like I would go as far to say is like if you had this problem in like 2009, 2010, 2011 when like this stuff just started, people would be like, yeah, what do you expect, bro? It's YouTube, it's Twitch, blah 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 blah. But it's like, bro, like this is like a slated out career. We have like an entire like legal system now around our niche, our career. Like our stuff is in Congress every single week being debated like how this stuff works, and YouTube's constantly deliberating, Twitch is constantly deliberating how to change and make sure that we are getting paid. And to hear your problems and it falling through like that is insane because like again, you put in the work so hard in the this time, and um to know that you and I essentially have the same problem and like you went on a quick vent thing, and I was telling you that I was gonna tell you this stuff before this call, but we've delayed this call so much that I'm kind of okay with telling it here now because I've already shared it on a stream and I've already shared it on my last video just in a comment. I don't want
Yeah.
to like I don't want to be like have like a, hey guys, life update. Here's the thing. Like I
I'm
don't
dying.
yeah, which is like, for not exactly. Yeah, I'll open up with a positive thing. I was thinking about like, damn, how do I bring this up to you? Because like I know that I could tell you the darkest version of it, and you'd be like, you could see through the
I'd
darkness,
probably
right?
laugh at it. Yeah.
Yeah, which is what I would need, right? Or that's how I would, because that's my thing. I've dropped this that I've at this point 50-50 people know. If you copped in on this call and this is your
The
first
thumbnail's
one,
gonna be you with kids.
yeah, just
There we go.
trigger
Beautiful,
warning.
beautiful.
I do have cancer, which I've still to this day failed to. I just feel like I've talked about it so much that like, especially people that I meet in person or close, I
Yeah.
talk frequently with. I just kind of assume that they like knew or know or like are aware sort of that I have like health stuff. And I dropped it on a few creators recently. I was like, and then like, wait, what? And I was like, I never told you that, or like it's never come up, and they're like, no, and I was like, oh fuck, and like I always feel bad, but like because I always bring up like haha like cancer and like I'm laughing about it, but like for most people, especially people who don't experience it, it's like that's like a traumatic thing, and it's like whatever, right? But the positive introduction is technically something I found out was so like the kind of cancer I have is thyroid cancer, which has a really great prognosis. So like, if you get it, they'll doctors will give you the hope of like, don't worry, this is like the safest, well, depending on what version of it you have, most of the
Yeah.
people they'll tell you have this one of the safest, most treatable cancers, and some bad doctors will say that it's the safest cancer, which is incorrect. Like they shouldn't say that. It's the most treatable one. Is more correct. But the moment it transcends itself, it very quickly stops being the most treatable one because
It
uh
transcends itself. It's that sounds so cool.
yeah,
Yeah, the
and
cancer transforms.
because the when thyroid cancer is easy to treat when it's not metastasized,
Yeah.
but once it metastasizes, it very quickly becomes the thyroid in and of itself is a very unique organ. So like most other your other organs apply to your body, uh like for example, you have skin all over your body. Your skin cells are similar to your hair cells, are similar to your other cells. Your internal organs, it's just different. Like your internal organs have like mucus or whatever, or your breast cancer, the breast tissue, that kind of stuff, that has a relation to your ovaries and other stuff. So when it comes to targeting stuff, when it spreads, it's easier because the rest of your body has those cells. Your thyroid, no. So if your thyroid cells, for example, if my thyroid cancer spreads to like my bones or something, right? They can't target anymore. It's very difficult to target because there's no marker in your bones for it to be like, oh, well, we know exactly where to go because thyroids normally exist in your bones. Nope, that's not the case. And that's the case. Basically, if I were to generalize it, thyroid and brain cancer is very similar in that regard because brain cancer, if he most, I think not most, I'm not gonna say that, but like a lot of times, brain cancer will be a metastasize of like a liver cancer or a different kind of cancer that goes to your brain. But if you have brain cancer, you're probably not doing well, and it's the brain cancer that's the problem. And it's
Yeah.
rare that the brain cancer metastasizes and now you have brain cancer in your foot. So like that's usually not the case. But in that regard, it's like you're not generally having that, and it's very difficult for them to target brain cancer in your foot because your brain shouldn't be in your foot, just like your thyroid shouldn't be there, right? Um, and so for me, what we found out is that the thyroid cancer that they thought that I had was not what I had.
Huh?
in the sense of we always knew that my thyroid cancer was aggressive by two
Yeah.
genetic mutations, but and we knew that it metastasized, but it was local. Basically, when I diagnosed it and I got it caught, and we did the surgery for people to speed people up. I have many posts about this at this point. We even had a podcast about this earlier. I diagnosed it. I went to the doctors, and within 2 weeks, I went from diagnosis to treatment. And basically, the doctor said if I had not done that, then it's very likely that in a month your cancer would have spread outside your neck, and then you would have been in that scenario of scarier situations. And to put into perspective, um, at the current moment of understanding, 5 years ago is when I got diagnosed and had the treatment. Technically, the full treatment is in like a week. That'd be the 5 year anniversary.
Yeah.
And
Damn, five
according to
years.
yeah, according
It's a
to
long time.
statistics, um, there was a 25% chance that I would have died by now, in 5 year mark for
Yeah.
me, and that is
That's kind of
that
cool.
is like
Because
I
you
was
survived, of course.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm doing well, and obviously, but it's like it's crazy that with a small new information that also, by the way, I'm the reason why we have that information because uh, I pushed for before Zenith was born, my son. I pushed for extensive, like triple checking scans that if we did not have that data point, they would have rushed me into surgery already. But because we have those scans, they now have the information that like, yo, you probably had this from the very beginning, and when you diagnosed it, you caught it right the perfect moment that 20, like they're not going to use these statistics, but like that change in your cancer is essentially nullified. So like that 25% is not effective because if this is how it goes theoretically, I caught it the moment it spread to my lungs. The moment it spread to my lungs, which cat's out of the bags, I have cancer in my lungs, and it's from what we could tell, it's kind of spread, but it's like just enough where it's not microscopic, but it's
Yeah.
enough that 5 years ago the technology could not see it, and now it can, and they can see it. And we now, and if had I not got the scans before my son was born, um, they wouldn't have had the data points to recognize that, oh, this probably existed, and they went back 5 years ago and were like, we see it beforehand. These patterns weren't in like the data
Yo,
system,
that's crazy.
but there was a new, I think it was like a younger radiologist who they also
Yeah.
scolded because the report, the report should never do this, almost never do this, but the report said, uh so keep in mind, I did. There's no cancer in my lungs, and then after the report, the guy goes 100% cancer in this man's lung. Like literally, that was in the report. And had it not been me, that would have been like terrifying for people. So like, I very casually like went to my doctors. Was like, this is crazy wording, right? In all your years of radiology, like this is like I saw the scans and I saw the things, and so I kind of already knew that it was there. But then the report not saying like suspicious of cancer. That's what they'll normally say, suspicion, and at the bottom they'll use uh um like a confidence level, and they'll give you like a range like 10 to 30%, 30 to
Yeah.
50%. They'll usually do that.
Dude, they hit your
um
ass with 100%.
they hit my no.
That's so
They didn't even
funny.
put the thing. They didn't even put the scale on, and then, so they had like tumor boards, and then they brought it up, and they're like, yeah, we can't be using this kind of wording, guys. Like that was crazy. Like, and so I
This
laughed.
dude dead.
Yeah, like I laughed when the because the doctor called me right after they left the tumor board, and they're like, yeah, so we got to the bottom of why the radiologist said that, and I explained it. And I was like, he probably did it because he was concerned that this guy has cancer in his lungs, and for 5 years no one has told him. And I was like, I get it, like I knew it. And the doctor's like, haha, yeah, that is his logic. And I was like, yeah, but like and he's like, yeah, we know. And I was like, all right, cool. But so that's essentially the case where I found out about that probably 5 months ago, and so um that's when I kind of rationalized. The doctors didn't tell me. I saw my scans. I saw like the CAT scan, and I saw the growths there. And that's when my brain ran into the thing. I was like, oh shit, that means I'm gonna need surgery. That means I'm gonna need radiation, all this stuff. So what I did was I went to overdrive. I went from 50K to 80K basically in a month because I was posting shorts. I was getting out last videos, and I basically had to shelf a bunch of videos because I was like, I don't have time to like deal. I have to figure out what's happening. And I went into the doctor's appointments, essentially like uh prepared for surgery. I was just waiting for them to tell me and not me to tell them because I didn't want to like there's a lot of nuance to it, but like I didn't want to influence their unbiased looking at the situation, because surgeons always want to do surgery, but for me my situation has always been that I could have asked for surgery whenever, but they just needed to hear the okay, and so like I didn't want to influence that, and it ultimately came down to them saying like well, we can wait and get another scan, which is what I'm going to do. And that's in like February, March time. But and the reality is essentially that like once I get that scan, that's also the best time to operate because then they
Yeah.
have the best pictures. And so basically, and this is my first time telling you as well, my plan is essentially in March, I'm going to have to do the surgery, which carries various risks. The reason why I've been avoiding surgery is because one of the main reasons to avoid it is I could lose my voice. And like,
Is there like a percent for that?
no. The only real measurement I have as far as preventing it is choosing the surgeon correctly. And fortunately, the way I saved myself the first time is I had the best, literally, like, I'm not making stuff up. This is the best surgeon in the world. I had him do it, and he even him, he did not guarantee that first time. He's like, you could lose your voice entirely. And at the time, I didn't have Parvision. I started Parvision. Um, I started Parvision uh, um, because after the surgery, I was like, yo, I could lose my voice again. Like, so let me try start something, anything. So I started Parvision, and this time around, I don't have that same surgeon, but that surgeon told me, and we talked about it. We theorized like 4 years ago, that I would probably need a new surgeon, and the reason why he can't do it is because he was confident enough. Like, the best time to do surgery is if you're going to do it is probably in 5 to 6 years. That's if you choose it, and if you do that, he's gonna be like 90, and
Oh my
and
god.
yeah, and so he was just like, listen, I'm a surgeon. I'm very confident in myself, but I'll be frank with you.
I'm dying. I'm dying too.
He's like, I will still be doing surgery. If you ask me to do the surgery, I will do it for you. And he literally he said he would do it for me. Um, but he was saying like, you should prepare by researching surgeons, and so that's what I did for a few years. And funny enough, all the best surgeons were his students, and it's the craziest thing where it's like,
Damn.
yeah, so like my current surgeon, he used to work with him like very recently. He recently came from that same hospital. He's a student. He knows him very well, which makes things easier, all that stuff. And he told me he is confident that I won't lose my voice, but that's because we have 5 years of looking at what he has to deal with. And so um, so I shouldn't, but I'm not gonna jinx anything. It's likely that my voice will be paralyzed, which means that um, I will have essentially one working vocal cord. You have two nerves that control your voice box,
Yeah.
one on both side, and they will. Best case scenario is I have, for people who don't know, I have cancer. We know this all throughout my neck, but it's stable, so we don't need to do anything with it. But with the new information that it's in my lungs, The idea is that if I remove the stuff from my neck, finally, then when they do radiation, then it'll more target the lung stuff because you can't do surgery in your lungs like that, especially for the microscopic stuff. Like there's not, it's a completely different surgery to do that. So it's essentially this two-pronged attack thing that I think that obviously stressed me out, you know, all this stuff. I had to take a hiatus. I had to rethink things. Main priorities was my son, family stuff. So as far as like the 5 months, I had to prepare because one of the things is like the surgery means that I can't hold my son for minimum like a month because it's neck surgery. And so you can't live. Like I recovered from my, they tell you that like 2 weeks is like a young person's perspective. A month isn't like an safe for like a 40, 50-year-old to recover. I recovered in like 3 days last time, and the nurse was like, all right, you need to slow your ass down. But I still didn't lift certain things, and you don't want to jeopardize your neck afterwards. It can cause like long-term nerve damage if you do that. So I can't hold my son for a month. But then for radiation, this is unique to thyroid cancer. When people get chemo, they're taking chemicals and it's toxic. They have to sit there through it, right? And then most of the time when people are getting radiation treatment outside of thyroid stuff, they are being irradiated. So like they are using lasers or whatever. They're radiating a certain amount of cells, right? So they're taking radiation and they're blasting you. For thyroid cancer, you eat the radiation. I have to take radiation. They come in literally. I'm not even making shit up. The first time, because I've had radiation, not full treatment 3 times, diagnostically twice. But the first time, I kid you fucking not, dude. They came in and they have to carry it with like they come in with a lead, like they're wearing like a lead suit. I'm fucking in like a gown,
But
so
cheek
I'm
naked, yeah.
balls like they bring in the thing, and it's literally I'm getting ass blasted, literally ass blasted, right? And they come in with like DEFCON 17, right? Like this pharmacy, it's what are they called? Nuclear pharmaceuticals, that nuclear pharmacy. This guy comes in or whatever, and the entire ward, like the walls have things, like everybody has a sensor. If their patient leaves, an alarm goes off. Like that's the kind of room that you're in, because if you leave, you are an environmental disaster essentially. And I'll substantiate that in a second. But they came in with a World War II ammo box because like they're not gonna remake certain things like protected, but World War II ammo boxes were the amount of lead to keep the radiation in. So they came in with I was like, is that a fucking ammo box? And he's like, yeah, like it was this is essentially standard to bring. I was like, what do you mean standard? And he's just like, yeah, because like, you know, they don't need these anymore. So like the standard is to just put them inside. I'm like, shut the fuck up. And then inside this thing is a cylinder, like another lead cylinder that they like is in like a cryo chamber, so like smoke comes out, and then they have to untwist it. No, they don't even untwist it. They hand it to you. I took a video of this, and they're like, I asked for permission. I was like, am I allowed to take a video of this? And
Your
and
funeral, man. You know, they gotta let you.
yeah, they were basically like, you can do whatever the fuck you want. And I was like, damn, I don't feel like this isn't what everyone says. But like, they're like, oh no, you have to open it. And they like stand back, they like scurry back, and they're like, yeah, first step, blah blah blah, and they just go through that like as if you're the plague now. And you take it, and then for like a minimum 2 weeks, essentially, uh, 2 weeks is like what they say is safe, but for two
Yeah.
weeks I can't be around people because like for example, if me and you were in the same room within like 5 feet of each other, I would literally give you thyroid cancer. That's how that works.
Yeah, I don't want to be around you anymore, man. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. You know, like, hey, you better back
Yeah.
up.
So when I first went through this, I bought a radiation meter. I have it, which is funny because I brought it to the thing and I had them teach me how to use it, and they're like, you don't need to do all that. And I was just like, and they had their own, and mine was better than the hospital standard. And they're like, where the fuck did you buy this? I was like, Amazon. And then and so I had that in our apartment. So me and my wife lived together, had an apartment. I had like a circle that like she could not enter because that's when the meter said it was zero radiation. But when I said environmental disaster, they give you anti-nausea medicine because you're not allowed to throw up. If you throw up, you have to call EPA. You have to call FEMA to clean up your throw up. You cannot you basically have to quarantine off the entire area, and they have to treat it like an environmental disaster. And I'm given a card that essentially, if I'm scanned, because highways have radiation meters and airports have radiation meters, so if I wanted to travel, I would trigger them. And I'm given a card that tells them like, hey, this guy has cancer and he's radiating. And so like and I remember they were gonna give it to me anyways, but the first time through, I asked about it. I was like, say so like I heard that like I trigger these things, and like this is exactly how the conversation went. I was like, I don't know if you noticed, but I'm a little brown, and like brown in airports, they don't really mix. And you're telling me like they tested for like gunshot residue, right? Last few times. You're telling me I walk through an airport and I'm radiating? They're gonna fucking they're
Yeah,
gonna
I'd put you down, man. Like if I saw you
yeah.
walk into the airport, I'd be like, it's over, dude. I gotta take part down.
Yeah, and then the guy just looked at me like dead serious. And he's just like, "Damn, bro, I I don't know that you're right, and you're so right that it's step like 6 to give you a card so that that doesn't happen." I was like, "All right, as long as it's there, because that's
Yeah.
my first priority. If I need to go somewhere, I'm not trying to get like anal cavity searched. You know what I'm saying? Like they're like, "Where's the radiation search?" I'm like, I'm not trying
Quick,
to.
it's thyroid. Go, go, go.
Yeah. So
Yeah, yeah.
but all that's to say, we are going to, as far as the 50/50 podcast, as far as other stuff, I feel like there's more things I was going to say, but I've been going on, and I obviously bring it up more in the future, but we're going to have to lock and load some things because I won't be able to speak for a little bit, but then also I won't be home after my radiation. I'm going to I set up a living place somewhere else so that I'm not even in the same house
Oh,
as my son, because they tell you like, oh, 2 weeks and like blah blah blah, and I'm like, based off of what? Based off of who? And they're like, they don't really test that shit because it's like for old people. The standard's like 60, 70 year olds who like, you know what I mean? They barely care if old people get thyroid cancer because they're gonna die of something else anyways. And so for me, I'm like, there's like, my mind went like, if my son develops thyroid cancer, which he shouldn't because my stuff isn't genetic, according to the doctors right now. But if in the future, if he ever develops thyroid cancer, I would hate it if I was in the same household during my radiation thing, and I could like even like, oh man, it was because I walked by him and he was like 15 feet away, blah blah blah. So I was just like,
yeah. You'd
I
blame
have to
yourself till like the end of the earth,
yeah,
man. That'd
yeah,
be over.
yeah. So I just resolved myself. I can't hold my son for a month, and then the next month after, I can't be here, which is, I think, technically, as far as hiatuses go, I broke my hiatus at the end of December when we started doing our
And you're
recordings
about to
again.
go on another hiatus.
And
Hey.
my plans was January and February to go hard in the paint. And then the year started, my wife got COVID, and the problem there is that my son is a little high risk, and so uh, I theorized that she got COVID, and so news flash for people. Me and my wife live together. Our son lives with us too. I do not have
It's
COVID.
weird.
I do not have COVID. I tested negative multiple times now. My son does not have it either. My wife has it. And the reason why I think my wife and I agree is because before she tested positive and she was getting a little sick, I'm also sick, by the way. I'm also sick, but I just had the flu from like my sister-in-law. We had the same symptoms. And so my wife was just like, and we recently got the newest vaccine too, so like we were like, oh, like even if we got COVID, it's not gonna be bad, which in all regards it wasn't. But when my wife first got sick, she was sniffly and whatever. I was like, it's probably something, nothing crazy. And then she I just kind of looked at her. I was like, "Oh shit, you have COVID." And then she's like, "What?" And I was just like, "No, you have COVID. You have to get tested." And I told her immediately mask up. And we have purifiers that have UVC. Every room in this house, essentially, I I have a like hospital grade air
Yeah,
purifiers.
trying to cleanse that COVID out of the air, bro.
Yeah, I got that. I started that tradition because of me for cancer stuff during the pandemic. But then when my son was born and he's high risk and, people visit, whatever, it's not COVID that it's any sickness for a baby. So I had every room essentially that he'd be in outfitted for that. So it's like immediately when I was like, oh, you have COVID, my wife was just like, what do you mean? How did you? I was just like, just trust me. Like it's hard to explain. I just the eye thing, the nose thing. This is the new
Man,
thing. And
2024 is kind of rough.
yeah, and so I was right, but I managed to catch it earlier enough where she wasn't symptomatic enough to spread it to me or my son. Hence, example, me and my son are completely fine about like 9 days after she started showing symptoms. And so for basically the start of the year till now, where I would have been making all these videos and doing all this stuff, my wife cannot see my child because, or be in proximity, can't do anything. I had to do everything. I'm also sick, but my son also got sick because he got the chickenpox vaccine, which is supposed to make you sick.
Yeah.
And so like we are all technically sick. My wife can't help. She's also kind of like not in a good state. And like so I'm taking care of her. I'm taking care of her and not getting COVID. And like I think this last entire week I've pulled all-nighters after all-nighters trying to squeeze in script writing, trying to squeeze in time to do stuff, but also my son, you know, this is around the time that like random sleep stuff happens where it's like they either just like want to play randomly at 2 a.m. They like wake up and like want to play games, and it's like, no, buddy, go back to sleep. He literally did that shit last night. And I was like, oh my god. But it's like it's fine, it's whatever. And also
Yeah.
him not having his mom is like a drastic change and changes behavior. And I'm saying all this, right? Making it all about me, right? And it sucks. And this month is tragic, blah blah blah. And to my surprise, like I'm sitting there like beating myself. I'm like, like I can't put on a goddamn. It's like the world doesn't want me to do this stuff because every single time I've told you every single week, it feels like I give you an excuse every single week, but it's like an actual thing, where it's like even for me, if I got COVID now, that would actually fuck up my scans for the thing. So I was like, whatever, I'm gonna get surgery anyways. Like I even told my wife, I was like, I'm gonna smoke, drink, whatever, fuck it up because like I'm gonna get surgery anyways. I'm gonna clean up that shit anyways. So and she got mad at me. And the stress of getting COVID dropped significantly because I'm gonna get surgery anyways. It was my son I was more concerned about, and so we made sure that like I took full dad duties, sleep duties, everything, and I have been posting, streaming still. And then last night or morning before, I sign on to YouTube. I don't normally do it, and I was one of the first people that saw your post. You posted it up, and a minute after you posted it, you said, "Guys, my channel has been fully demonetized for the month of December." I was like, and
It's pretty
like,
funny, huh?
yeah, and
It's a good meme, really.
no, because you know what? I'm gonna say this. It was healthy for me. Your trauma was healthy for me, and I know that's fucked up to say, but it's because my anger shifted from like all the shit that I'm going through to like, yo, what the fuck? Like, there's no
I think it's
world.
2024, really. Like it's not even like it's got to just be this year. I think this year is off to a pretty bad start, but I have a good feeling it
I
can't be
don't
all doom and
disagree with you.
gloom.
I don't disagree with you, but and the one thing that'll meet you, 2023 wasn't that great, and I know this especially because like and there's a huge asterisk, right? I did a rewind stream, two of them. One of them was just like general stuff. And I thought, rewind, like YouTube didn't do, I don't think do rewinds anymore. And like every rewind that I watched was so sad. And like, it wasn't like, like fear mongering in news is a common thing in the modern era. But I really looked back and I was like, no, every single thing was like I forgot about the Titan sub. I forgot about Hawaii catching on fire.
Oh,
I
wow, that was 2023.
and the fact that the
Feels so long
Titan sub
ago.
was like a universal like thing, and that's not depressing because the situation we have a whole episode about
That was
memeing
funny.
about it, all this stuff, and how depressing and depraved society is at this point. But the fact that like when I watched the rewind, the Titan sub situation was the least sad part during that timeline. Like there was, you probably remember this. There was like I'm probably making up numbers, like 500 immigrants. Like the Greece sunk the ship of like illegal immigrants and just drowned them, and that happened
Oh
the same.
yeah, yeah.
And it's like bro, you didn't have to do all that. You at that point just like where's the Coast Guard? Like, what do you mean you just tanked them? Like, that's crazy because we're worried about 4 dudes who sunk themselves, and you were sending people to save them, and you just sunk 500 people that honestly we should care more about because they're running away from war. They're running from the cartel type of shit. And meanwhile, we have billionaires spending like the amount of money each billionaire spent was the amount of money that would have saved that entire ship. Like that's the amount of money that would have, if we stipend those people on that ship with one of those billionaires amount of money, saved all of them. And each of them spent $250,000 to die, and one brought their I don't even talk about it. And
That shit's so
that
funny.
I say all that, and I was like, damn, I regretted doing that rewind thing. But then I had to say it, like I cannot. I think most of the world, I think a lot of people would say, you know, if they wanted to trade in a year to God, 2023 might be that year. I could never say that because 2023 was my son was there, and I could never, like, every dark thing aside,
There's one
that,
bright light.
yeah, and that's still there, and it's like that
Hey, just wait
that's
till 2024. That shit's gonna be scuffed, dude.
bro, and that's the thing,
We're only
like
10 days in.
when my cancer stuff came around, I didn't rationalize it, but I was so stressed, and I was wondering, I was like, why do I feel like I'm burning out so much faster on doing the YouTube stuff? It's because I was doing it and I was like, yo, like I wasn't realizing because I didn't fully like digest it, but
Yeah.
this news means that there's 2 months without my son, and so that's why I was pressured, that's why I was there, and I was like, in 2024, like I'm going to have to like not be there, and
You're not gonna be anywhere, bro.
it's gonna crush me. And I have I have a few plans in place for content and stuff, so that it's not a
As
drought, but it needs, I need not for my wife to get COVID for like the
yeah.
first half of January, which is now 25% of my time before the surgery is gone, essentially.
You know what's funny?
What?
While you're on your hiatus for the 50/50 and I guess like our little collabs for One Piece, I
Yeah.
should get like a cardboard cutout of you and just put it in the background and be like, Par's here.
So, truth be told, as far as like our stuff, discussion stuff, it won't be that much of an issue. Uh, like worse, if this is ironically like somehow Oda's lined up break weeks with the most traumatic weeks of my life, which is a good thing because if it didn't line up, I'd have to skip. And in
Yeah.
2023, I didn't skip a single chapter because every single break week lined up perfectly with every doctor's appointment that came up. Like I remember when I got diagnosed, Oda like went on a 3-week break randomly, and I was just like, oh my god,
It worked
wait,
out.
yeah. And then we find out like it was like the live action and stuff, and then I had to do, my son had 7 doctor's appointments in a single day. And Oda put a random break week. I was like, hey, let's fucking go, baby. Like that's crazy. Yeah, and so as far as that goes, if Oda puts in the break week perfectly right after my surgery, then we're good
Oh hell
because
yeah.
my voice recovered the day of my surgery. I got my voice back, and the
Okay.
nurses was like, that's not normal. And I
You
was
got
just
some
like,
strong ass vocal cords,
yeah,
man. Yeah,
So
you could probably like sing or something.
yeah, it's funny because that surgeon that like is like 80 years old, he,
Yeah.
the first time he saw me, no, not the first time, the second time, So the first time he saw me was when I was diagnosed. So he looked at my vocal cords. The second time after my surgery, he was supposed to do the same thing, send a telescope through my nose to look at my vocal cords, and you go E, and then your vocal cords vibrate or whatever, and they based off E, they then determine whether they need to give you more sounds to see what your thing is doing. I did that, and he was just like, "Oh no, you're perfect." He visualized. That's how much.
I like to imagine he had like flashbacks of like an opera singer. He's like, it's
Yeah,
it's him. The
he
reincarnation.
literally was just like he didn't even need me to say E, because I in conversation, like, I pronounced like something with an E in it, and he's like, "Oh, I heard it in that word. You're fine. You're
Yeah, you're
perfect.
good.
I'll do it just for protocol because I need to, but you're perfectly fine." And I was just like, because like yeah, my vocal cords are fine, but like I can't move my neck, I can't do shit.
Yeah.
So my E was like, like that, and she's just like, "Yeah, you don't need to strain yourself. You're fine. You're
Yeah,
perfect."
you're good. You're good.
Yeah, and so all my surgeons so far who have seen my vocal cords, they've all been like, "Damn, bro, your vocal cords are crazy."
Damn, dude.
Yeah, so the other not the thing. When I did the surgery, I was 22, so I was a spry, young, strong fellow. Now I'm much older than that. People can figure out how old I am. Technically, damn, wait, 22. Oh, I just had turned. Okay. I was like, wait, the time doesn't match up, but it does. It
Yeah.
does. But yeah, so now I'm older, and so who knows how I recover. That's why I was making the memes. I was like bulking, sort of say, because
Yeah.
um a good thing to do when you're going to surgery. Technically, if you do it correctly, if you do it the way I'm doing it, nobody knows how
A
heavy I
cheese
am.
only diet.
I mean, this is fair. This is
I'm just
funny.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Nobody knows how heavy I am. My
Yeah.
wife doesn't. Well, she knows. I told. She was like, "What?" In my best friends are like, "Wait, what? How?" Because like
Your
the
weight's a shocker. You're like one of those guys on like the side of like a Pornhub ad. It's like, this guy lost this much weight. And
No,
it's like
that's
a
literally
stomach with like a little measuring tape around it.
so I've
But it's like
said
penis
this
instead.
before, but after my surgery, because my the medication affects your metabolism. So
Yeah.
if it's ineffective a little bit, it spirals out, and if you don't get it checked, you could very quickly add weight. In 1 month, I gained 50 pounds. So I went
Damn.
from yeah, so
The
I went
hell?
from so I'm 5'8", 5'7", 5'8", and
Yeah.
my resting weight when I was like an athlete was like 145, 150-ish. If
So
I
you
was
hit like
like
195?
I was 200. I was 200.
Damn.
I hit 200, and the way I knew, because I didn't know. I wasn't like weighing myself, and I didn't like see anything crazy. I didn't even know I hit 200. The reason why was because I had a feeling like I was like, damn, I feel like I'm a little bit more out of breath than usual.
Yeah.
Let me
I can't walk up these stairs anymore, man. What's going on?
So then I started using the stairs. My instinct was because we live in an apartment and we were on the 8th floor, and so there was an elevator. And I told my wife, I was like, I'm gonna start using the stairs because I feel like maybe I don't care about my weight like that. So I would go up and down the stairs. The problem was down the stairs. What happened was I went down the stairs, and I'm an athlete. I have had injuries before. I know. And I diagnosed my own cancer, but I fractured my leg. I didn't get it diagnosed, but I knew I fractured my leg. And it was in a
While
way where
going
I was
down
like,
the stairs?
while going down the stairs. And it's because, like, when you're supposed to run up the stairs, you're never supposed to run down the stairs because that's
Yeah.
dangerous for all your joints. And so I was in a rush one day. And so I ran down the stairs, and I thought, like, yeah, I'm 150. It's not going to be a problem. And my leg, I hurt it, and it fractured. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, the only way that I could fracture my leg from that movement is if I gained like 40 pounds. To my surprise, I gained 50. I went to the
You
doctors.
fat bastard.
The doctors were like, "You're 200? You were at 150 a month
Yeah, like
ago." And
what
I was,
happened, dude?
and I'm literally like not butt naked, but I'm in my
Packing on the
underwear.
cheeses.
And they can't tell that I gained 50 pounds because when I gain weight and the way because I'm really active, it's throughout my
It's like
entire
spread
body.
throughout. Yeah.
Yeah. So my six doctors were all just like, "Huh? 200. What do you mean? You're borderline
this
obese.
fool, 200 pounds. What the hell?
Yeah, yeah. And so
Wait. What's your weight right now?
so just before I get there, because I was gonna get there, was for
Yeah.
surgery last time. I was 150 going in, and after the surgery, because of the stress of the surgery, I was like immobile, but I also had to go on multiple diets. So starting in a week or two, I have to go on this no fat diet and no thyroid diet,
Damn.
no salt diet, technically, no iodine diet, which
Damn. No flavor, man.
yeah, I can do salt,
Yeah.
but like to a certain extent, and it's rough, but like it's but that diet makes you lose weight,
Yeah.
and so last time, because of the diets, I went to like 130. I was like so
Dang.
lean.
You have such
Yeah.
drastic weight changes.
Yeah, and that one, because when you're in a, like, if you suffer an injury or you go through a traumatic like physical situation, your body relies on fat to for energy. So after the surgery, if you don't have body fat, you're going into it scuffed. Yes, you want to go there
Yeah.
strong, you want to go there, but you should also go in with a little bit of body fat. Like, you don't want to be lean and like a lean cuisine going in. You need a little bit of body fat for that bed rest. And so lost some weight there, lost some weight from the diet. And so going into this one, I decided like I need to be at least like 180. So I was at 140 3 months ago, and I made the decision. I was like, all right, to prepare for the surgery, I'm gonna hit 180 around December, end of December, which I did. So I'm 180 right now, and I'm going to once my wife's COVID stuff and all that stuff, I'm gonna not bulk, cut. I'm gonna start not cutting like dietary. I'm gonna start exercising so that I could like
Yeah.
gain some muscles, because that's like the other half of like the muscles technically are more important, but like because you need the stability, you need all that stuff, and all that stuff. But and so right now I'm 180. I'm looking before surgery to probably be like 165, 170. And so I got quite the work cut out ahead. But yeah, nobody could really tell. My wife was like, what the fuck, you're 180? I'm like, yeah, I'm a big boy. Also, I want to be heavier because this is a dad thing. When you have a kid, you'll quickly realize dad bod is the win, because it's and every dad I know at this point, they all have agreed. And some of these guys are like, they wanted to be fit, they wanted to be strong, but then they had a son or a daughter, and the feeling of that kid wanting to go to their mom just because they're squishier, just because they got that booba, is so rough. I'm like, I'm sorry, like I got like it's not comfortable. So I like, now that I got the belly, my son he loves me, and
Damn, dude.
his grandfather. So like my wife's dad, he has like a belly. When he was like smaller, he loved just like sleeping on his belly, and I was like jealous. I was like, all right, I need a dad bod eventually.
Yeah, I need to grow a stomach. Shit.
Yeah. Honestly, if the surgery wasn't in here, I told my wife, like, bro, I'd be aiming for 200 just to get that
Oh my
belly.
god.
Yeah, like just to, and the funnier part is I
That's
still
goofy.
wouldn't get that belly at 200. I'm like, my wife is like, that's not healthy, you
You,
know that.
you,
I was
you
just
need to
like,
switch up what you're eating.
I literally could, like, I was, my wife has told, um, uh, so I've been eating 8 serving sizes
Oh
of
my
like
god.
everything that I've been eating, because I just like I can eat a lot if I want to, and I could burn through that too. But yeah, I've just been making sure I've been taking in a bunch of calories.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not even a thing. I just been eating. I just been just going off and being like, "Yep, need to do this." And
I have a
my
craving.
wife,
Let's go.
my wife came in with like the Carfax like 2 days ago, and was just like, "You realize you ate like 10 people's worth of food like this last week?" And I was like, I'm
What can I
surprised.
say? I'm a little bit of a professional. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's when I told her, I was like, well, that's also because I gained 30 pounds in the last month. And she's like, what? And I was just like, yeah. And she's like, holy shit, I didn't even notice. I was like, ha, I got you. It was a funny
Yeah.
conversation. But yeah,
Well,
yeah.
to end this off though, do you have any like 2024 New Year's resolution? Like what would yours be?
Uh, um, I feel like I had a different perspective uh in 2023 that like stressed me out a lot more as
Yeah.
far as like uh how do I say this? Like, okay, we've talked about this. We're two dudes that just do. When you talk about One Piece, talk about a manga, anime, and
Yeah.
it's like at the end of the day, we're just two dudes, right? Like, it's not like that serious. We're not like people shouldn't idolize us or think we're smart or anything like that. I'm fully on that, right? Um, and for me, uh, not that I cared a lot about that image, but like I realized I was avoiding something that I just wasn't acknowledging, and it came up because, like, with the surgery thing, there is a risk that I do pass away. There's with surgery
You're
that
gonna die.
there's like there's with the treatment itself, like outside of surgery.
Oh, Par.
Yeah,
1 second. Can I be back for like 2 seconds?
yeah, 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 yeah,
All
yeah.
right, cool.
Yeah. Well, I could still be talking anyways. And Sai, I already told this to Sai. But as far as like the surgery goes, there's a non-zero probability that I do just pass away. And with the treatment, I'm not too worried about that. But like with that realization, it kind of changed my mind, my perspective about like what I'm doing. And this is the part where I'll tell Sai when he comes back. Usually when he goes this far, he has to pee really badly, but like, and then he's like really fast, like almost as if the toilet's right next to him. But like I've seen his place, it's not right there. Um, so like he has to have like the speed of Flash, also like the jets of a jacuzzi to be like knocking that shit out all the time. It's because Sai has like small bladder problems, but also downs caffeine like a motherfucker. Um, so uh so I'm gonna let's try to take a guess at what he's doing. His cats made a sound in his kitchen and it sounded like a big something fell. I doubt it's the door. It might be the door. Someone came to his door, rang his doorbell, but no interactions that long. If it's a package, it's quick, sign it, done. Sai's neighbors? No. Unless Sai's getting robbed actively, it's probably his cats dropped something, made some sounds, or are fighting. I'm gonna say cat related. I'm gonna put money. I'm gonna say was it Jack Sajak? Is that Wheel of Fortune? Yeah. I'm gonna say give me I'm gonna take B. It's his cats. Dang, it's a long time. When Sai's gone for, he also said 2 minutes. Oh no, he said an exact time. So does he have to shit himself? Oh, maybe it's shit himself. Yeah, because if it was his cats, he wouldn't say 2 minutes. That's wrong. And if it was door and he didn't know it was a door, then why would he give me a time? He said he give me like 2 seconds, 2 minutes. Did he say 2 minutes or 2 seconds? The time frame. Hold on. I'm second guessing. I think it's all right. I'm gonna hedge bets. I think it's shit himself and then cats. All right. Chat comments. Put down your guess right now or say it out loud. Let's see what Sai says when he comes back. I think it's nah. It's shit himself. It's def. Let's see if we can hear. Maybe we can hear a toilet flush. I don't have the best headphones in right now, so audio listeners. Well, everyone, it's a podcast. So you have to be audio listeners. So, um, oh, something else I should bring. Oh, it's a cat. It's Kuro. It's wait, it's definitely the cat's literally out of the bag. It's shit himself. Give me your honor. The defendant is shitting himself. There's no there. Yep. He almost shat in his seat. He almost shat himself, guys. I can't believe it. I think that is how you theorize, guys. Right there. Damn, this cat Kuro is blending in with this chair. Do you guys audio listeners can't see this, but his cat came on screen and now he's sitting inside his chair and you can barely see that he's there. You can only see the tongue that he's licking. He's gone. Wait, he's gone. He's literally gone. Oh my god. Wait, this is like the thing that like cats are liquid. I don't know if you guys saw this like Nobel Peace Prize consideration thing that cats are actually by definition liquid, technically. I wonder if Sai's gonna notice his cat's there. It's so Kuro is so well bundled. But anyways, what I was gonna say to stall all this out so that Sai doesn't have to cut this out and do editing is maybe for 2024 we do live streams where it's like a podcast thing, but like we have the chat going and like we respond to chat people. Cause like that's something we considered, but the reason why we didn't, we wanted to bring on guests too. Surprise! I actually have our first guest prepared. It's just like I had priorities, and obviously Sai had priorities. And then so like the 50-50 we weren't doing weekly at the end of the last year, so 2024 hopefully that we change that, and once it becomes regular again, I think we can start adding more fun into it, which is like adding the pressure of doing a live stream, right? And just having like chat going, because I think some podcasts do that, but they're like not super common, and the ones that do it are kind of like the weird ones, and I don't think like me and Sai care for like people to super chat, but then we'd also would care about reading all the messages, which we normally do in our own streams. But we kind of like use these podcasts to like catch up with each other for the week, kind of like we talk before and after. And damn, did he shit himself twice? What is happening? All right, no, there's no way he's getting robbed because his cat is here. It has to be he shit himself or his wife came home. No, it's not that. No way. I'm thinking I'm gonna go with I am going to go with it's probably shit himself. Damn, I'm so baffled right now. What is actually happening there? Hold on. Oh damn. Oh damn. All right, that closed out. That's fair. I'm trying to think if there's any other things that I could say that I already told Sai. They're mostly my channel updates that aren't relevant to the 50-50 podcast. I could say yeah, I could bring up who I want to bring up on as our first guest. I think the first guest, if you guys don't know, Josh from Volume 1 podcast. Him and Sai are very similar. And I think it's crazy. They both bully me similarly. And it's crazy because I did not think that they were going to be so similar when I first met them. But they have so many. It's crazy. It's so crazy. But anyways, yeah, that's a guest that I want to bring on. You guys don't know, they do One Piece content weekly. They're in our space. Very cool people. And then as far as other things, oh yeah, if Sai doesn't link it because he might forget, definitely go subscribe to his new channel if you guys do normally watch his stuff. Do want to say thank you guys for like all the support, patience. I feel like as much as, you know what, I'll say it. There's the 50-50 podcast viewers that come into Sai and I's discussions and my streams and our content, and I think that as much as you guys troll in these comments and in those comments, I think that there's nothing more. If I were to tier list the kind of comments I anticipate when I open up my comments, it's 50-50 podcast viewers, because I remember a lot of your names, but then you guys also say inside jokes that I know that are from the podcast, or you'll just say that like, oh, is this a 50-50 host, whatever. I love those comments. And the people who come to these streams or calls, definitely some of the best people. I just decided to use the time that you were gone. One, on don't say anything yet, Sai. I used it to fill it up so you don't have to cut it. But
Oh
then
wow.
two, I was theorizing. I was like, huh, what could it possibly be? And I'm gonna lay it out the
Okay.
options, and I'm gonna tell you as time went on what happened. So at
Okay.
first, I was like, okay, if he comes back quick, he just peed because Sai's a very quick peer. Like you have when it comes to pee, you got
It's
the
pretty damn fast. Yeah.
yeah, it's like the toilet's next to you, but I know that it's not because you showed me your place. But then also like the act of peeing, it's like you got jacuzzi jets like down there or something. Like it's
Yeah.
fast. And so like it took long enough. I was like, okay, maybe it's not that. So then I was like, is it the door? But I was like, why would Sai be taking this long at the door? So maybe it's his cat in the kitchen. Like he heard his cats make a sound, and so he had to deal with it. And maybe his cats are fighting or whatever. But then I was
Okay.
like, no, that doesn't make sense because when he left, he gave me like a time frame. Why would he give me a time frame? He was like 2 seconds, 2 minutes, whatever. He wouldn't be like that if it was like an uncertain situation that they ascertained. So he's shitting himself. And then I was like, okay, it's definitely him shitting himself because it's not his like wife coming back. Like, and what else would take his attention away? And I was like bent over between cat and shitting yourself. And then when I was thinking about that, Kuro came on screen and walked across the desk and just kind of like sat down on your seat and started licking himself on your chair. And I was like, oh, he's shitting himself. So what actually happened, Sai?
So for the past, I think 25 minutes, I really had to use the bathroom
Uh-huh.
because once a day, every morning, I do take a morning shit.
Yeah.
And since I woke up and came straight into this call, I didn't have time for that. So yeah, I had to take a massive dump.
Look at that, guys. Did you?
But
I walked them
but to be
through.
fair,
Oh shit.
I like the whole thing where you're like you saw Kuro and then you're like okay he's definitely using the bathroom. But the thing with that though, I have 5 cats.
Yeah, yeah.
I
But
have five
so
cats though.
I
So
figured.
it wasn't guaranteed. It wasn't
Yeah.
guaranteed.
I didn't explain this to the viewers because and this is something that I always say that like the amount of thoughts I was speaking really like as not as really quickly but not as rushed as I could speak, but the amount of thoughts that were going through my head and the amount that I could say out and the amount of time before you came back, I was like, okay. And so one of the thoughts was like, Kuro's a special one because I feel like Kuro's like, whenever I see him, he's always like cats either come to him or he's like not a leader, but like if some shit was going down, like someone was at the door or there's a fight going on, I feel like Kuro would at least be observing. He would not be
Yeah,
not like avoiding the action. He would at least be in the same room. So
he
when I saw
attacks
him
dogs.
exactly, and I've only known that from seeing him behave in the background. So when he came on screen and it was Kuro specifically, I was like, all right, that means he's shitting himself.
That means it's not an actual life or death emergency. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's
Yeah.
not cats fighting, it's not size fighting. It's definitely not that. And the only thing that like was the weird one was like your wife coming home. But I feel like at that point you would just cut the stream. You'd be like, all right, let's end the stream
Yeah,
early.
so that's why I was trying to wrap it up. I was like, "Oh yeah, what's your
Yeah,
2024 resolution?" And then I was like, "Wait, nah, I gotta go. Nah, I can't hold it."
yeah. Yeah. So
So,
that's
so,
so
so it's
um
the resolution.
yeah. I explained the premise and so I can
Yeah,
just jump into it for you. Was essentially that like the on-site of like me possibly dying, um and like like I feel like I've talked about this before. When people have diseases or I've come to a certain point where like I can kind of tell like someone has like a terminal illness or whatever just based on the way they talk, right? They have something significant going on for them, and a lot of it times it's when people have had to like rationalize death in front of them, and I had to do that a long time ago, And for me, it's kind of like I sat there, I was like, is this what I want to be? Like, if I really pass away and my son has to like look back and the only form of like him remembering me is my YouTube channel, like, is that something I could be like, I want to leave him like as like my last things or whatever? And that's kind of why I took time off. It's not that like I was, and it was this weird thing, like, I'm not embarrassed of being a YouTuber or talking about what we're doing or whatever. I'm not
Yeah.
100%, I'm not embarrassed, but I had to like come to like this thing of like let me spend more time with my son, let me do other things, let me so my resolution essentially was like, I don't want the channel to consume my life, not because like it can't, and not because I couldn't do it, not because of anything like that. It's because I see myself doing a lot of other things, to the point that Parvision wasn't meant to be a One Piece channel. Parvision was meant to be a channel where I talk about science. It was supposed to be a first science thing, then a Marvel thing, then media in general, then it was One Piece. And I landed on the One Piece thing, and that's what blew up essentially, because I was so hard on myself on content. I was so picky of what I posted originally that I didn't post any. I had rough drafts of like 6 different pieces of content for everything, and I thought they were so bad that I didn't post any of them. And I posted a One Piece one. It was my first video on TikTok, and people loved it, and it blew up and very quickly on the YouTube stuff. And so my resolution is to like be less critical of like myself, and be more confident in the person who has accomplished what I have, and allow myself to because and you know this, and you know that like I read negative comments more than most people in our space do and should
Yeah.
indulge. But the reason why I do that is because there's no comment that could fathom the amount of negativity that like I am towards myself. Like, I am truly my worst villain, my worst enemy. Like, there's a demon inside like my head that like hates me, and I have to shadow box that every single time I post a video and like whatever. And so those comments, the man, they're comical, every single one. I'm like, I showed my wife a comment recently, and the entire comment was like, bro, like, if you were gonna say this, at least be good, like, come on, like. And I gave him all the talking points of like, you could have said this, you could have said that, you could have said every single one of these things. And like, the funnier part is I thought about all of those things during the call, and that's how dumb your comment is, that's how stupid you are. And like, because they said the most brain depraved thing, and I was like, bro, like, if you want to be negative, like, and I thought I believed in you, because the way he opened up, I was like, oh, this guy got something good, hit me with it, tell me you're better than my negative self. And he disappointed me so much that I was like, I showed my wife, and my wife was like,
So wait. So your 2024 resolution is to find better haters?
no, my 2024 version um is to is to not let that my dark side win not win over, but like guide me in my thing. Like, it's prevented me
Yeah.
from doing so much,
I love
and
the way
I'm
that
aware of
sounds.
it. Like, I've been very aware of like, you know, I can't do this, I can't do that because of x 10,000 reasons, and it's very easy for me to come up with 10,000 negatives versus 10,000 positives. And the last 5 months have been me rewiring my brain towards like, I developed an AI system thing. I don't know if you tested it out yet, but like, I learned Linux, I learned a new language, I learned so much stuff. And like, like, the previous version of me would be like, what's the point, why would I waste my time doing this stuff, I'm not going to even be able to do that, blah blah blah, it's going to be a waste of time. But now, in the last 5 months, I've done so much stuff that it's not reflected on my channel just yet, but it will be. And 2024 will be more stuff like that. You'll just be seeing me, like, hell, I might have my stock stuff back up, I might have like Brago on that, because we've talked about things like that. I'm not gonna shut down any ideas. I've been wanting to do a charity stream, and I've been wanting to do all that stuff, and I've been so critical of how I do that I prevented myself from doing it. But like my plan is that when after my surgery or when I'm in radiation, I'm just like chilling. I'm probably gonna do a charity stream. I'm gonna get into contact with people. I'm gonna do all the things that like the negative allowed for the last like 2-ish years to take control, or not take control,
Yeah.
but like to share the wheel. And so 2024 is going to be me uh me being more, it's gonna come off as more cocky and more arrogant, and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun because I know that's not gonna reflect well in the community, but it's like, I don't give a fuck about this dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I got
yeah,
you.
yeah. So long-winded, but Sai, what is your 2024 resolution?
Oh
Since you
no.
sat
Now
yourself to
I'm
make
having
the
the technical
time.
difficulties.
Oh no, the hearing.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Okay,
It's back. Oh, thank God.
yeah,
What'd you
yeah.
say? What was your ending note?
I said it's because you shat yourself to give us more time to discuss this. What is your 2024 resolution?
Oh, I'll keep it short and simple. I'll just make more content.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's ultimately what I said boils down to what you said, but like I think we have very different reasons as to
Yeah.
why. Um,
I just want to
no-
diversify a little bit. I mean, that's pretty much it.
yeah, yeah, and hopefully our schedules will end up lining up because I think the way we want to diversify, it's not a shocker, but like it's kind of similar that
Yeah.
like we have similar perspective of what we want to do. And a lot of people are already moving that way, which is good. So I'm glad you already started doing the
Extenuating
spoilers.
like circumstances, like you and your surgeries, me and my YouTube problems. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
we were kind of
yeah,
pushed to it anyway. So yeah,
yeah.
it's
Hey,
like that.
I would say both of us didn't need the push. We there's some things in life that like you can look back on and be like, oh man, if that shit didn't happen, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have made that decision. I can very confidently say both of our bullshits did not need to happen for us to make a lot of the decisions that.
I could have been peaceful, bro. But
Yeah, we would have done the same thing, maybe probably in the same timeline if we're being completely honest, right? It just life decided to add 2023 and 2024 decided to be like, yeah, but like you have no choice. How about that, buddy?
yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
like,
best way to. It's the best change out there. You know, when
yeah,
life
like
makes you change.
I I want, you know what I want to do?
What's
Not
up?
on this one. I think as far as the amount of stuff that I got to talk to while you shat yourself was I also talked about like things that we wanted to do last year, like bring on guests, but we didn't because it stopped being regular and it was hard to schedule, mainly for on my end. So like guest stuff, but then also we talked about like streaming and talking to the chat and comments and stuff like that. And I talked about the reasons why or why we didn't do that. And so hopefully we do that this year. But going to next week, and a lot of people know this, we don't have like structured things, and like maybe we do have more structure in this stuff or topic talking points, because I know a lot of people like the episodes where we talk about a single thing throughout the entire thing, and at the same time people
We
liked
tried
it
to
that
do that today. To be
yeah,
fair,
the anime,
did
and
not
then
go out well. You know, at first I was gonna
we
be like, "Oh, this is the anime episode," but no, that shit turned into like, "This is the ranting episode."
yeah, to be fair, we both had the exact same mindset because we both came into it like, haha, you want to talk about anime and manga, knowing full fucking well we were in rant mode because
I
you
don't know. I
you
don't
are the
know.
one who broke it. You are the
And
one
then
who
you went on about your cancer. All right,
and usually
we're both to blame here, Mister
usually
Cancer.
it's me who does it, but this one was you. This
You
one was you.
radioactive fuck. How dare
You
you?
didn't. You even broke the tradition of having like hot segues. You were just like, nah, fuck it. I'm just jumping straight into this bullshit. And I was
And
just
then by
like,
the end of it, I
dang.
was like, I just gotta use the bathroom. I just
Yeah,
gotta go.
yeah, yeah. You just
It just hit.
you literally constipated yourself to get that shit out. Like
Yeah, you
that's
know how it is.
yeah, yeah. And so for I the idea was maybe cool homework thing that we could give ourselves is if we were to draw 2023, personify 2023 as like an antagonist, right? Like what would it look like? And if both of our end, like if we drew like what like that villain looked like, or 2023 and 2024, right? Because our different perspectives, and we came in and we have like just it's probably gonna be like 5 minutes of effort or less, and we would show up and like haha, and we laugh at each other a little bit. But I just want to show up and just like lift up a thing, and we just like look at what 2023 looked like for you in the scope of
I don't
like
know. Like I don't think I'd be able to design a 2023 monster because I don't think it
says
was
the guy who
that
made
bad.
Quartzark. Said the guy who
Yeah,
made
it was. I mean, Quartz arc is fine. It's different.
So
That's
you're
different. That's
telling
different.
me all that ranting you did, you know, and me knowing,
So my ranting wasn't about the year of 2023. It was just like
yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
personal problems. And
Okay,
even
so
then, it's
then
like I don't know if I'd be able to make a monster out of that.
your recent personal problems, if you were to personify like YouTube beating you down, if you were to like do all
I don't know
that,
if I'd
right?
personify it though. I think it's just like bad circumstances. I don't really have like a demon, personification for that. It's just like
That's true, because
bad
now that
luck.
I talked about it, like you would expect it to be looking like me, but just like an evil version, but that's not what it would look like at all. But um honestly, I think that my drawing would be something that you'd be like, "Ooh, I'm gonna take that for a series." Because the thing that I had an idea of, you said something to me in the past,
Like
uh
I
and I was
could
just
make
like,
cool monsters, but I don't know
yeah.
if I could make like I don't know if I would want to waste it on the 2023.
All right, so then what do you want to make a cool monster about? Wait, on. Yeah,
I
let's make. All
I
right, let's
love
just make a
monster
cool
designs,
monster.
dude. I love
Yeah, so all
monster
right,
designs.
come back with the next one, and then we can make our monsters the thumbnail. Like it'll be side by side. You know, like how the meta is to have like two characters and split in
Yeah,
between.
yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You want to do
So
that? Do you
so
want
the
to?
next thumbnails are monsters side by side.
Yeah, like I don't care what inspiration, just like whatever, and then I'll have my own thing. We'll just come back with monsters.
I
And
could do that. I could do that.
it'll be an honor of Monsters the anime coming out, because this episode is entirely about monsters and
Yeah,
anime.
it's about the anime. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's it. You got it. You got it. You got it.
Yeah, wait, should we, I mean, we're probably going to do this on our channels, talk about monsters,
Yeah.
because it's One Piece related, not here. So um
We'll talk about it some other time.
yeah, so was there, since you shat yourself, and I'm not being summoned to put my son to sleep just yet, was there, do you want to end it here? Do you want to, is there another thing that you want to talk about?
I think we'll end it here for
All
now. We
right.
got a good hour 45 in.
Oh
I think
damn.
it's a very respectable time.
Yeah, yeah, that's a solid. This is the exact window that I said I would have, considering the week.
Oh, dang. Okay, yeah, next week I think I do have a couple of topics too.
All right. All right. You know
Yeah.
what's funny?
What's
I
up?
feel like the times when we say out loud what topics we're gonna talk about, that's when we don't talk about the topic and we just go somewhere.
Yeah, it's like a jinx, really.
Yeah, because we always have topics, and then we also go like, "Do you have any topics?" And then when we share it, we go into the call, and then we go wildly different places, and it's fine. There's no problem with that. But then the times when we have the agenda but we just don't tell each other, we push our agendas, and we both end up talking about our things.
It happens.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's
But
a
hey,
solid one. We'll get more
thanks guys
50-50
for
in.
stopping into our 2 hour long rant.
Yeah. Oh, hopefully you guys had a way better. Oh, you know, my hope is that by hearing our thing, maybe you guys, like, I don't know,
They'll share
like,
their good experiences of life.
yeah, good. Or if you have bad experiences, know that you're
I can't wait
not
till somebody
alone.
says that their grandpa died.
Whatever it might
My
be,
family all
like,
died.
I appreciate the time that you guys had, and the patience, the Patreon supporters. I know that it's like we're on pause right now because, you know, like from Sinai's perspective, it's like, yo, the times are not good right now. Like, and we're
Yeah,
not, yeah,
we'll
yeah.
pause
So,
that.
yeah. So
We'll get
once,
Patreon up and running when we get better at doing these weekly.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And life decides to give us some breath of space. And so thank you guys for all the support, and just I was saying Sai before, that if I was to tier list the kind of comments that I love to see, like when I open my comment section, I would very high up there put 50-50 viewers. If they like, because I recognize a lot of the names from our comment section here, so when I see them
Yeah.
I really look forward, because they either make an inside joke or they go, so they just like, is this the 50-50 host, like these viewers
Oh
comment.
yeah, those are solid.
Yeah, I love seeing those. Whatever it is, it's always a fun time, even if they're trolling, because I know that they come from this place where like half of the dudes here cosplay as flat earthers, and a plethora of other crazy nonsense just to spite us because we're like, no, we're discriminating against flat earthers, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so like we have some peak trolls in this community, so love that. Sai and I are both trolls, and we appreciate you guys being here. Hopefully 2024 is either more good for you or better for you, depending on your circumstances. And just know that there's a solid place to share it here, right? Because there's so many things, that are going on. I'm sure we'll end up talking about it. That's what this 50-50 is about,
Sort of.
sort of.
And world domination. But hey,
Yeah.
thank you guys for stopping by, and we'll catch you all later. Peace out.